Markets are facing major adjustments as a result of the changes to normal consumer behaviour brought about by the spread of coronavirus. All farms and food businesses will be impacted by these rapidly changing market conditions. How they're affected and the severity of that impact will vary according to the markets they operate in and their specific product mix. Although it will be a while before demand shifts are seen in official numbers, the following summarises the anecdotal evidence picked up so far. The recent government advice to stay at home and avoid public places has diverted food service and on-the-go consumption back into the home, pushing up retail purchases. It is reported retailers are seeing a surge of purchases of liquid milk, frozen pizzas and cheese, for example. Meanwhile, the use of coffee shops and restaurants has all but disappeared. It's important to separate out the true uplift in retail demand resulting from more food and drink being consumed at home rather than out of home to the temporary uplift due to panic buying. This panic buying has been seen in other affected countries and in their experience is relatively short-lived. The former, however, is likely to be a longer-term change, keeping retail demand at elevated levels until government advice to work from home is reversed. Processors supplying into retail markets are currently seeing an uplift in demand. The key challenges are with sourcing supplies and ensuring they can continue to operate and have no logistical issues with getting product to stores. As well as servicing the increased demand from home workers, managing the short-term panic buying will be challenging. This will be particularly true when that panic buying ends and managing stocks out of the back end. A more serious situation is facing those processors who service the food service markets. The immediate and significant drop-off in demand in this sector means processors will be left with high stocks and the need to divert product elsewhere. The higher demand at the retail level may not provide an alternative, however, as retailers tend to source from a single supplier. For those dairy processors supplying this market, this could well mean an increase in milk diverted to spot markets. Against a backdrop of seasonally increasing milk supplies, revenues will be seriously reduced and cash flows stretched, a situation already playing out with one major milk buyer. Trade activity is also expected to be affected as global demand is lower and transport networks are disrupted. The closure of many markets around the world has all but stopped tourism, unsettling the retail food service balance in yet to be determined ways. Meanwhile, disruptions to transport networks, difficulties in crossing borders, and the lack of refrigerated containers to complete shipments is adding cost to supply chains. Closer to home, there are not yet reports of difficulties in the transport networks, although it is reported that delivery on some orders for bulk dairy products are being delayed or cancelled. The time of year means dairy buyers anticipate further price reductions as supplies build, making it difficult to secure any future sales. Overall, changes to demand can be rapid, but also varied across the different selling channels. While much of this will be temporary, the uncertainties of sales and payments will put pressure on farmers and manufacturers from a revenue and cash flow point of view. AHDB has a dedicated site dealing with coronavirus issues, where you can access business advice and support as well as current market updates. You can also sign up for our weekly market reports by filling in the Keep in Touch form available from the AHDB homepage.